going on, guys? Welcome back for another drive home with Beach. Yeah, got quite a few messages. People said it was fine. They liked it. So, yeah, we'll go again. I'm in the process of just looking through a few apps to record through. Just the Zoom and stuff seems a little bit funky. So, yeah, found a few things that I can record a couple of over the sort of internet interviews. So I can get that done with the whole V8 wingless thing that I'm researching. So there's some news coming out on that very shortly. So yeah, for that's not for me to say. That's for another organisation's got news on that. So yeah, obviously quite a few people seen over the weekend. I was talking about the the Ute idea. I think quite a few people got their knickers in a knot about it. I don't really understand why. I think the common theme is that there's too many classes, but yeah, I don't see that being the case. It's like there is a lot of classes, but it's not like they all race the same night or anything like that. It's like those days are long gone of promoters putting 5+ sections on a night. So, and if anything, if it brings more people to speedway, well, who cares? Like, there's only 13 registered classes via Speedway Australia, and then obviously depending on your state, you have a few more classes. Like, like I know here we have our version of Lightning Sprints, which have the Magna V6, which they can't race with the Lightning Sprints in New South Wales because they use a different setup. So there's a lot of state dependent classes too. So obviously Victoria has heaps because it has basically two ruling bodies as well. So there's you got the VSC, which has a bunch of different controlling factors to it and other different classes and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. The truck stuff that I've seen from the States kind of looks cool. Like, and I just don't understand how, like, well, at one point we were so obsessed with Utes that Utes never made it to Speedway. Like, surely there was heaps of them sitting in wreckers the way guys use streeties. So, yeah, I don't know. But then, pretty much, people shot it down straight away that we don't need another class. But in some ways, I kind of beg to differ that, like, if people want to do it, and like if someone wants to go start a class, then go your hardest. Like, I don't see the problem with it. Like, it's up to the people who want it to make it work. It's no different to any other class, like operating, or any other class that's started out. Like, it's literally how every class has started at some point. Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, if someone wants to do it, go for it. It's not going to be me. Like, I'm not going to go do it. I'm not the one starting it. Like, it was just an observation that I made that, yeah, and then, yeah, it's kind of turned into a bit of a gremlin, but oh well, you get that on the big jobs. So, yeah. But I mean, like, to be honest though, I actually really think that like a modified sedan style Ute would be killer. Like, I don't know who wouldn't want to go watch that. Like, I mean, half the time people only used to watch the V8 supercars because of the V8 brutes. That shit was entertaining as. Like, sure, they sort of stuffed up with what they're going to now, but at the same time, that's a reflection of the car market, not anything else. So, yeah, I'd be all for it. I don't know how you'd start it or whatever. Like, that guy commented on the post. He's got one of those Oz trucks. It's basically a TA2 chassis with a Ute body on it, with a 383 Chev in it. So yeah, more or less, it's identical to a TA2 car, basically. They look cool and yeah, it'd be interesting to see something like that on dirt. Like, I'm still really keen just to even see our current V8 Super Utes on dirt. I think, like, when I spoke with, when I did the podcast with Coddy, it was, they can pretty much do whatever they want with those cars. So if he wanted to chuck it on dirt, he could. So it would be it'd be good to see if we could get them on dirt somehow. Like, I mean, I know NASCAR's done it on and off over the years. I remember the trucks are at Eldora, well, a few years ago now. That was cool. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the I don't know how you'd go about doing it. Like, I don't know if it would need Speedway Australia involvement, or if like Super Utes could just simply hire a speedway and hold an event. Like, I don't know. Don't really know what the ins and outs would be in that regard. But I'd be keen as to say it. I think a lot of people would be. It's something that you see get commented on Super Ute socials all the time. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe people do want a new class. I don't know. Like, there is a lot of classes, but there's probably a lot of classes that can maybe go as well. Like, I don't know. Like, it's not for me to say that someone cannot race a certain car or whatever. They put the time and money into it. They've got just as much right to go and race anything compared to a sprint car. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I did start doing a bit of a dive into what the super trucks are, they call them in Delaware, and yeah, there's a lot of different options. Some of them are old NASCAR trucks, and then some of them are like the guys have built a race truck based off of a street going vehicle, much like we do with a street stock or a modified sedan. So, and then I started looking at old NASCAR trucks that were for sale, and you can pick them up for like around 10 to 15 grand American, running, ready to race. It's just like, yeah, they're turnkey. There's a lot of them sitting around over there. So I mean, yeah, I mean, you'd probably still be looking at 40, 50 grand to get one on track, but yeah, it's probably not much difference from building a street stock from scratch these days anyway. So I don't know. I don't really know what a street stock costs to build. I know what modified sedans cost to build, and like, yeah, people think sprint cars cost a lot of money, so just try modified sedan racing. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, we all talk about cheap stuff to race with. Like, everyone wants a cheap class of racing to go to and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you could put a vehicle on track for like, say, 20 grand, I think a lot of people would go and race that in general. I don't know. It makes sense to me, but yeah, it's not going to happen. I'm certainly not going to bother. Like, I'm not putting my hand up to start a new class, put it that way. I mean, if you could get something on track for 20 grand, I might think about selling a kidney and having a crack at it. I don't know. But yeah. But I don't know. I'd like to know your opinion. Do you think we have too many classes? Like, I can't remember the last time I went to the Speedway and there was more than 5 classes on. Like, I think everything that I've been to in the last 2 years has been 4, maybe 5 classes. Like, yeah, I can't say that I remember anything that's got more than that on it. Like, I know that everything we've done with the sprint cars in the last 2 years at Murray Bridge has been sprint cars in 1 support class. Maybe a couple of nights have had 2, maybe. Like, might have had like classics like thrown in there as well, just doing demo runs kind of thing, but probably wasn't another racing division per se. So I mean, if another class came along, it's not like it's going to stretch the nights out or like make the current formats a bigger night or anything like that. It'd be no different than the way that a promoter juggles what classes they want on what night anyway. So yeah, I don't see a problem with it if another class did come along. Like, I mean, the current theory would be that a V8 wingless would be its own separate class anyway. So, I mean, everyone wants them, but then they don't want another class. So it's like, well, can't have your cake and eat it too. So, yeah, I don't know. Be interesting. I will research the whole Ute thing a little bit more. Got a obviously got a mate that builds race cars for a living, so I've got to talk to him about what you actually could do with a Ute, if it's actually possible to build one to, say, like Sedans Australia spec sort of thing. The same thing happened with the coupe in modified sedans. Everyone said, nah, it's a sedan class, that's a coupe, and then like now they've let him in, and like the other week it was really interesting to see like there's Mustangs and Camaros and stuff, and the Merc and stuff like that. And yeah, I know up in Queensland there's a couple of BMWs and stuff as well. So yeah, bit of variety. So maybe that's the answer though, is that the Utes can just join in with modified sedans or something like that. I don't know, but I mean, we need to make this entertaining. Like that's the other thing too. We're an entertainment sport. We're not, you know, it's too many people in this game have got their minds on just filling up the back gate and not getting the punter in through the front gate. So, you know, whatever we can do to keep people entertained and yeah, keep it relevant to them too, I suppose. I mean, a little bit hard when we don't have Falcon and Holden Utes on the road anymore, getting built brand new, and everyone's got a full drive style Ute. But yeah, still some relevance to it there, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. See what happens. I'll update you and I get some feedback from the powers to be, and yeah, be be interesting to see what they say. But yeah, like most things in Speedway, it's probably going to be a no, and yeah, it's the common theme on the way things go. So yeah, but is what it is. So yeah, I've got a few people lined up to do Zoom style podcasts, which it's not what I want to be doing, but yeah, there's a few topics that I want to cover, and yeah, instead of just waiting till God knows when, hopefully I can get them done in the next couple of weeks, or yeah, might try and do a guest like that bi-weekly or something. Not too sure how it's going to work. Just time's the biggest killer as well, trying to line up people, their spare time, my spare time. So yeah, like I said last week, this is kind of the easiest way for me to do it, is in the car on the way home from work. So yeah, I just thought I'd talk a bit about the Ute idea. I'm all for it. So if anyone could actually do me a rendering of like a modified sedan style Ute, like maybe like a VE style Ute that like looks like a modified sedan, can you like send it to me? Because yeah, I'd love to see what it would actually sort of look like. I think it would look tough, but yeah, maybe that's something that might spark some interest as well. So yeah, I don't know. I think like, and Michael Miller said to me too, which made heaps of sense. Like he said, you look at the average size home now where someone has a spare, like they don't have the garage space to have a race car or a spare car like they used to, 15, 20 years ago. And one of the other biggest killers for us in SA, Adelaide, was Speedway City. Like you could have a guy that lived, within half an hour of Speedway City who raced, say, like Amcar, and he just needed like a regular Ute and a flatbed trailer to get his race car to Speedway City. But to tow that up the hill to Murray Bridge is like a totally different ball game. Like that's all those hills and shit, like puts so much stress and strain on a vehicle that you need to look at a different style tow vehicle, almost go to a truck or something like that. So, once those sort of like average blokes sort of left, they didn't leave by choice, but yeah, once it's not a viable option for them to get to the actual track, that makes a massive difference to numbers as well. So I think, I don't know if it's actually ever been confirmed, but apparently now that Speedway City's closed, Speedway Australia's down something like 50 to 75% on mechanics licenses. I don't know whether that's true. That's just always something that always gets sprouted around. So, yeah. And it was because there's a huge... like especially in the smaller classes. I mean, even like probably lost a few sprint cars too, because there's like the whole Two Wheels posse that's sort of almost gone now. Really, there's not really anyone left from that area that's still racing. So yeah, but definitely the smaller classes like the M cars and stuff like that. A lot of those blokes would have just probably worked sort of regular jobs, done everything they could, sponsorship, and saved up, and done what they could to go race M car at Speedway City, and they would have just had the regular sort of like family car and open trailer. So yeah, that's something to consider too. That some of these other classes that are now struggling with lower car counts is probably some of that stuff too. Is that definitely an own Adelaide, like it's a big difference to travel to Speedway City to Murray Bridge. It's not quite the same thing, even if they are within the same distance or the same time frame away from each other. So yeah, well, the other thing that I was looking at doing, I was going to do a top 10 on blokes, not anything to do with like the way that they've raced or anything like that. Just like the kind of bloke that they've been this season. Obviously, yeah, I don't know. When I talk about people and like when I rate someone, it's not necessarily their racing that comes to my mind first. What comes to my mind first is what kind of bloke they are. So I'll have a look at that. I don't want to really get into that top 10 shit. It's pretty whack, to be honest. And yeah, it's usually only done for clout. So I'm not really into that. So I'll have a look at that in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, not overly interested in doing it either. But it was just an idea that I had the other night that to rate them differently compared to racing. So yeah. So yeah, obviously the content sort of slows down this time of year too, with the fact that racing's pretty much over and done now, especially for us. We haven't got anything else on the calendar now till next season. So yeah, sort of got to find ways to make content and keep the page updated so it doesn't just go dormant. So yeah, we'll see where it all takes us. So yeah, well, that's pretty much all I've got for now, guys. And yeah, hopefully next week we've got a guest. I can get that lined up. And yeah, maybe later in the week, once I've got an update on the whole Ute thing, I can give you an update on that. Peace.